Hello children, today we'll see an important topic, Roman numerals. Roman numerals is actually an easy topic, but many children are getting fed up with that because of confusion of the alphabets given for that. Okay, so here we'll see first what all the alphabets given for which all numbers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, only 7 alphabets. If you remember this properly, you can utilize and form all the numbers. So for 1, this is the minimum number. For 1, we do it as I, capital I. Okay, it can be written as capital I also, or just a standing line like a 1. Okay, and for 5, the next number is we give it as V. Okay, so V, it will be mentioning 5. And then the next number is for 10, we give it as C. Okay, and for 50, we give L, capital L. And for 100, we write it as C. And then comes 500, that we write it as D. And then the maximum number, that is 1000, we write it as M. Again we'll go for a small revision. I for 1, V for 5, C for 10, L for 50, C for 100, D for 500, and M for 1000. Okay, now we'll see the rules. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3 and 4 rules. We'll see one by one rule along with a small example for that particular rule. Okay, so the first rule is 1 and 10 can be repeated. Okay, can be repeated in the sense it can be added, but in that again one small thing is there. Only 3 times we can repeat. Okay, not more than 3 times. So here you can see with an example. So for 10 we write it as X, and for 1 we write it as a standing line or an I, capital I. Okay, so 10, 1, 2, 3, okay, only 3 we have given. So it means 10 plus 3 gives you 13. So you can write this like this. Okay, it is accepted. But you cannot write like 10 plus 1, 2, 3 and 4. 14 we cannot write like this. Okay, why? Because the first rule says 10 and 1 can be added. That is, here 10 can be repeated thrice or 1 can be repeated thrice, but not more than 3 times. Okay, so that is the first rule. Hope you understood. The second rule is a numeral written after a numeral of a bigger value is addition. Okay, so we are writing two numerals. So the smaller numeral will be written after a bigger numeral. It means the operation done here, it is addition. So example is here 5 plus 1. Okay, so 5 plus 1 gives you 6. So how we are writing? 5, the V we are writing first, then we write it as I. So in this case it means addition. So the higher value 5 is being added with the smaller value 1. Okay, so that is 6. And the other example is 10x plus 2. Okay, 2I. It means 10 plus 1 plus 1. That gives you 12. Okay, so the bigger number comes first, then comes a smaller number. That means the operation done is addition. That is a second rule. Then the third rule is a numeral written before a numeral of a bigger value is subtraction. Okay, so in last statement we have seen bigger number will come first and the smaller number will follow that. Here the smaller number will come first and then it is followed by a bigger number. See, in this example you can clearly understand. Here 1 and then comes 5. It means 5 minus 1 will give you 4. So this particular thing is written as 4. It means 5 minus 1. Here 5 is a bigger number that comes in the second position and 1 is a smaller number that comes before 5. Okay, so another example, 1 then comes 10. It means 10 minus 1. Okay, 10 minus 1 gives you 9. So 9 we are writing in this form. Okay, so it means subtraction. So here the smaller number will come first, then comes the bigger number. Then the last rule is if a numeral is placed between two numerals of greater value, it is subtracted from the number on the right side. Okay, so say for example, here you can see three alphabets: X, I and V. It means X you can keep it separately, and here the smaller number is the 1, and left hand side is also a bigger number, and the right hand side also is a bigger number. So this X can be kept separately, and this 2 can be taken as a number together. It means 5 minus 1. So 10 plus 5 minus 1 is 4. So you'll be getting X as 10 and 5 minus 1 as 4. So for 14 we write it as X I V. Okay. I'll give you another example. We are writing it as 2x. Okay, xx, xx, 1x. Okay, so xx means 20 plus, and 1x is 10 minus 1. So how we write 20 plus 10 minus 1? It means 20 plus 9. So 29, how we are writing? We write it as 2x ix. So it means 29. Hope you understood. And there are few other points to be taught. Okay, so what are they? 1. Okay, 1 can be subtracted from 5 and x. That means 1 can be subtracted from, that is I can be subtracted from v and x. That is, we can write it as 1 5. It means IV. In that case it is 5 minus I, it is 4. For 4 we write it as like this. And in case of 9 we write it as 10 minus 1. So for 9 we write it as 1, that is IX. Okay, that's it. So 1 I can be subtracted from 5, that is V, and also X, that is 10. Then comes the next point. X, that is 10, can be subtracted from L, that is 50, and C, that is 100. So X, 10 can be subtracted either from 50 or 100. Say for example, we can write it as XL. It means we are subtracting 10 from 50. So we get it as 40. So 50 minus 10 gives you 40. For 40 we write it like this. And we are going for another example. 100 minus 10, that is XC. 100 minus 10 will give you 90. For 90 we write it as X. The last point is V, that is 5, and L 50. Okay, so 5 and 50 can never be subtracted. So we'll see with an example. How can we write 45? So we write 45 as XLV. Here it doesn't mean that 50 and 5 is getting subtracted. Instead, 10 is getting subtracted from 5. That is X and L written together, and 5 is written at last. It means 40 plus 5 gives you 45. So for 40 we write it as 50 minus 10, that is XL. Along with that we are adding 5, that is V. So for 45 we are writing it as XLV. Hope you understood. Just for a small revision, starting from all the numbers, just be thorough with the numbers, how we represent with the alphabets. Then go by one point, and just go through the examples. You'll be understanding. And lastly, just go through the points, 3 points, and along with the examples, you can clearly understand the topic. Okay, hope you understood. Bye. Thank you.